The movie begins in the freezing Antarctic Ocean during winter. A huge ship is stuck in the middle of the icy sea. The captain tries everything to evacuate the passengers safely, but the cold is getting worse, and survival feels nearly impossible. One snowy, stormy night, the crew hears someone screaming for help. The captain and a few men rush outside and find a man begging desperately, "Please, either take me with you or kill me. Don't leave me here to suffer." Feeling sorry for him, the captain brings him aboard. But right then, a monster appears. It's clearly chasing the man. Only its horrifying arms and long tentacles are visible at first, and as soon as it reaches the ship, it starts attacking the crew. They all fight back, but nothing seems to work. Even bullets do nothing. A soldier fires a powerful mini-rocket gun at it, but the monster still doesn't die. It only falls off the ship. Furious, it shakes the ship violently from below, causing major damage and putting everyone at risk. Seeing the danger, the captain strikes the ice near the monster from above, smashing the ice sheet and trapping the creature in the freezing water below. They think it's finally dead, but it's not. Morning comes. The captain goes to the man they rescued and asks, "Why was that monster after you?" The man begins telling his story, and the movie cuts to flashbacks. We see Victor as a 12-year-old boy. His father was a famous scientist and wanted Victor to follow in his footsteps. With hard work from both of them, Victor became a scientist at a young age, but his knowledge wasn't enough to save his mother. Heartbroken and angry, Victor yelled at his father, asking what good science was if it couldn't save her. His father tried to explain that bringing someone back to life is beyond human power. But from that moment, Victor made it his mission to prove that wrong. He became obsessed with finding a way to revive the dead, something even his father couldn't do. The story cuts back to the present. The monster that fell into the water climbs back out, completely unaffected by the freezing temperature. Then we return to Victor's past. Years pass as he continues working on his idea. When he turns 30, he finally discovers a method to bring humans back to life using electricity and human organs. Victor presents his experiment at a big meeting with wealthy businessmen. He shows them a half-human creature he managed to reanimate using a machine. Everyone is terrified and believes Victor is trying to play God. They shout at him to stop immediately, but Victor continues anyway. He throws a ball toward the creature and it catches it, and even speaks. The crowd panics and orders Victor to leave. No one is willing to fund his research. Heartbroken, Victor leaves his suffering creation behind. People turn against him, believing that if Victor succeeds, death will lose meaning and the world will become overcrowded. Just then, a rich businessman secretly contacts Victor. He has money, a huge business, but a very short life expectancy. He's been searching for a cure for years. After seeing Victor's work, he believes this might be his only chance to live longer. He tells Victor, "I'll give you all the money and equipment you need. Build your lab anywhere you want. Just make sure you complete your experiment so you can save my life." Victor is thrilled. He goes to his brother William's house to share the news. William is happy for him. Victor also meets William's wife, Elizabeth, who warns him gently. There's a thin line between science and God. Use science only for your work. Don't start thinking you're God. With that, Victor leaves for a remote place where no one will discover his experiments. Victor slowly turns the old mansion into his own personal castle and orders 2 huge silver antennas. He knows that bringing a full human back to life will require an enormous amount of electricity, far more than anyone could produce at that time. So he plans to use lightning. The silver antennas are designed to capture lightning during a storm and power his experiment, bringing the human he created to life. William and his wife Elizabeth, who is also the niece of a powerful businessman, support Victor and help him finish building the lab. Once the lab is ready, Victor performs many experiments to bring a human back to life, but nothing works. Then Elizabeth gives him advice. "Not like this. Start from the beginning. Make it the way you are." Victor understands what she means and starts over. He studies his own movements and builds the creature's body to mimic a human. He connects the bones and muscles with wires, so the creature will be able to move its arms, legs, and walk. He runs wires throughout its body. After the body structure is finished, he has to install the organs. But where would he get them? A war is going on at the time, so Victor collects dead bodies from the battlefield and removes their organs. He implants them into his humanoid just like a real human. The entire process is horrifying. Victor cuts open each corpse, searching for the right parts. He uses one person's eyes, another person's nose, and so on. When the body is finally complete, he names it Frankenstein. He connects the creature's heart to a power machine that will revive it using electricity. Now, all he can do is wait for a thunderstorm, when lightning will strike the antennas and hopefully bring the creature to life. One day, a storm finally arrives. Victor is sure tonight is the night his experiment will work. On the same day, the rich businessman who funded Victor shows up. Victor asks him, "What do you want from me now?" The man replies, "What else? When I die, I want you to bring me back to life, just like this body. And if you can't bring me back, then put my heart and mind into this creature." Victor refuses. "No, I'm not messing with this body anymore." The businessman becomes furious. They argue, and in the fight, the businessman falls and dies. Lightning strikes the antennas at that exact moment. But even after the strike, Victor realizes the experiment has failed. Frankenstein hasn't come to life. Devastated and exhausted, Victor falls asleep. When he wakes up the next morning, he is shocked. Frankenstein is alive. He's walking, standing right in front of him, wrapped in bandages. The creature looks terrifying. Its movements are stiff and unnatural, exactly how a body wired together would move. Every part of it came from a different human. The creature looks like something stitched together piece by piece. Victor is terrified of his own creation. He immediately locks Frankenstein in a secret room. Soon, Victor notices the creature's brain works like that of a newborn baby. So he starts teaching him to speak. He points at himself and says, "I am Victor." Frankenstein repeats in a deep, frightening voice, "I am Victor." Day by day, Victor teaches him how to act like a normal human. But Victor forgets one important thing. Mentally, Frankenstein is still a child and should be treated like one. A few days later, William and Elizabeth visit Victor. Victor panics because he knows he killed Elizabeth's uncle, the wealthy businessman. Before Victor can meet Elizabeth, she hears strange noises coming from the basement. She goes downstairs and comes face to face with Frankenstein. Elizabeth is shocked when she first sees Frankenstein, but she's also excited for Victor's success. Looking at the creature, she says, "You're so big." Frankenstein asks for her name, and she tells him. She even tries to teach him simple things. She shows him 3 words, water, air, and fire. Victor notices something. Frankenstein isn't learning from him, but he is learning from Elizabeth. Because she talks to him like a child, he understands her better. This makes Victor jealous. Angry, he turns to his brother William and says, "Take Elizabeth away right now. This creature is dangerous. He's the one who killed her uncle." Victor shows William the body of Elizabeth's uncle and warns him, "If you care about your life and hers, leave today. I'll destroy my creation." So William takes Elizabeth out of the mansion immediately. As soon as they're gone, Victor pours gasoline all over the mansion and sets it on fire. The entire place explodes, blasting Victor backward. His leg is nearly torn off, hanging by just a few veins. Seeing Victor's condition, William panics and takes Victor and Elizabeth back to the city. The story cuts back to the present. Frankenstein, who survived the freezing water, climbs aboard the ship seeking revenge. He starts setting different parts of the ship on fire. The captain confronts him and asks, "Is Victor's story about you true? Are you really dangerous enough to kill humans?" Frankenstein replies, "No, that's only half the truth. I've never killed a human. But yes, I am angry at Victor. I want revenge for what he did to me. He left me in that burning mansion. I barely escaped through the basement, which led into the woods. I wandered those woods for years." He says Victor never cared that he was like a child mentally. "Animals ran from me. Hunters attacked me on sight because I looked frightening. One day, hunters spotted him again. He couldn't run fast enough, and they shot him. To survive, he stumbled into a house and hid. When he woke up, he saw that every wound had healed. Even he was amazed. Curious, he looked around the house again. It was full of people, loving, caring, living like a real family, he says. He realized he wanted that too. He wanted people to talk to, a family to belong to. He secretly watched an old man teaching his granddaughter. By listening quietly, he learned their language and behavior. Frankenstein wanted badly to be a part of their world. He watched how the family worked together, taking care of everything. So he started helping them in secret. He left piles of wood for them. He hunted deer and left the meat outside their door. The family wondered who was helping them, and the old man said, "Maybe God is looking out for us." Eventually, the family decided to move to the city, leaving only Grandpa behind. Grandpa was blind, but he could hear perfectly. He always knew Frankenstein was around and believed he was human, not a monster. He knew Frankenstein had been helping them. After the family leaves, Frankenstein finally shows himself. The old man welcomes him as part of the family. During their time together, the old man teaches him to live like a human, how to read, how to behave, everything. One day, Frankenstein learns enough to talk with him. Grandpa asks, "Where'd you come from?" Frankenstein is stunned. He has no idea. Grandpa tells him, "Think of the last place you remember." Frankenstein says, "Yes, I remember. I can go back there." Grandpa encourages him, "Go there. You'll learn about your life." Frankenstein obeys and returns to Victor's old lab. There, he sees Victor's experiments and realizes the truth. He wasn't born. He was made. He also finds Victor's address and decides to go meet him. He wants Victor to create another being like him, someone he can live with. Excited, he rushes back to tell Grandpa the good news. But what he finds is heartbreaking. Wolves have attacked Grandpa and he's dying. Frankenstein is devastated. "You can't die," he cries. "You're the only one I have." While they're talking, the old man's sons arrive. They think Frankenstein is the one who attacked him, so they shoot him from behind. Frankenstein ran to escape them, but the men fired so many bullets that he finally collapsed. They thought he was dead, but he was only unconscious. The next day, he woke up, but Grandpa was gone. His children had taken him away. Frankenstein knew what he had to do. He had to find Victor. He already had Victor's address. While traveling, he came across Victor and his brother William partying. Anger surged through him. Here he was, living a life of pain, while Victor enjoyed a life of luxury and indulgence. Frankenstein attacked Victor, shouting, "I will kill you." Victor, surprisingly calm, said, "Go ahead and kill me. I regret ever creating a hideous creature like you. I've regretted it ever since I brought a monster like you into the world." Frankenstein yelled, "I'm not a monster." But Victor ignored him and raised a gun. At that moment, Elizabeth appeared and took the bullet meant for Frankenstein. Once again, he was heartbroken. Grandpa and Elizabeth had been the only ones who truly treated him like a human. In grief, Frankenstein carried Elizabeth away from the party. William, devastated by the death of his wife, turned to Victor and said, "You've ruined everything." Even though Victor apologized, William drove him out of the house. Victor, now furious at Frankenstein for ruining his brother's life, hunted him down. In a fit of rage, he cut off Frankenstein's nose and shouted, "I will have my revenge on you." Frankenstein calmly replied, "If you want revenge, then come find me." And with that, he left. Years passed. Victor continued chasing Frankenstein, carrying heavy burdens that could have killed him. One day, Frankenstein confronted him and said, "What are you waiting for? Kill me. I'll kill myself, but if I survive, I'll kill you." Victor handed him dynamite and it exploded. But, as usual, Frankenstein didn't die. He revived again. From that moment, he pursued Victor because, as he promised, he had to settle the score. While torturing Victor, Victor called the captain and his men for help. This was the same scene shown at the beginning of the movie. Back in the present, Frankenstein tells the captain and Victor his entire story. "I never wanted to kill you," he says. "All I ever wanted was for you to create another like me, a companion to share my life with." Hearing this, Victor's eyes fill with tears. "I didn't trust you, the one I created," he whispers. He is dying, but before he passes, he tells Frankenstein, "You must live in my place, and you have to forgive me." Frankenstein forgives him. Everyone on the ship cries at this emotional moment. Finally, Frankenstein frees the ship from the iceberg and sends it back into the ocean. Everyone waves goodbye to him. As the humans leave, Frankenstein feels a familiar sadness of being alone. But now, he is determined to live his life by himself. The movie ends, showing that this is Frankenstein's ultimate fate.